last thing I'm gonna speak on tonight because this one was heavy on my soul. I'm tired of the fake alpha males online boosting up these brokies' heads and making them all think that they high value. Sir, nothing about you is high value. Your bank account's not high value. Your morals and standards ain't high value. Even your car ain't high value. It's underwater and depreciated. But for some reason, they got y'all hyped up, making you think that you're in the top 1% just because you got promoted to the team lead at the Amazon warehouse. It's 2021. Most of us women nowadays, we making more money than a lot of y'all dudes. We the niggas with the money. So for you to be thinking that you have value out here and that your poor character morals, you can make up with it with your bank account. Some women can be bought, but guess what, baby? Not all of us can be bought.
Hello, guys. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Woman Exodus. How are you guys doing? Like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please share. And shout out to my exes who always chime in the chat and who always chime in the comment section below. I really appreciate you guys, and I really do enjoy the engagement. So thank you so much for doing that. A few brief housekeeping items before we dive in. So I got the suggestion to do a vetting video to talk through how I met my husband and the steps that I had incorporated to ensure that he was the right one and that he was a good guy. So he has actually agreed to do an episode with me. So this should be fun. I think it will be really, really cool to have that male perspective, especially since he is a high value male. He makes well over six figures. He is on the higher end of six figures. So he's a true high value male and not one of those faux high value, great value men that these niggers like Kitten Hill Samuels like to talk about. And he's also a Brad too. So it'll be interesting to have him on and to hear his perspective. I'm interested in what questions you guys have. So if you can think of any that you'd like to hear from a male's perspective, especially a high value Brad, his perspective on divestment and on dating and what they look for, feel free to leave those questions below. And I think it'll be a really cool and fun episode. It will be his first time, and he's camera shy, so we'll see if we can get him to open up to us and can get him to relax and engage and be transparent with us. But I think it will be lots of fun. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything that you'd like for us to cover or talk through, then feel free to leave those below. So this is my daily series called the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the animals, monsters, derelicts, and other creatures often found in Blackistan. I mentioned this before. This is going to be a daily series Monday through Friday that I'll do throughout April. Then after that, I'll level set to make sure that the engagement is there, to make sure I'm getting an ROI on this, because it takes a lot of hard work, and it is there's a lot of effort that goes into preparing these videos. And as much as I enjoy them, I need to make sure that I'm getting the response that I need, and that's aligned with the level of effort that it takes to make these videos. So yeah, if you are listening, please say hey. Please like. If I see thousands of views, I expect to see a proportionate amount of likes and comments as well. So anyway, now that we got that out of the way, today's daily installment of the Blackistan Zoo is brought to you by loyal follower May May, who suggested that I do a video on Pickmeishas in Blackistan. So this will be a really, really fun one. Like we always do, initially we'll go over a brief profile of these creatures, and then we'll go into highlighting and viewing and examining real life stories of these animals in their natural habitats. So let's do a profile of the pickme. So this is this imagery that I'm going to use to kind of facilitate our discussion. I thought that, I can't take credit for this. Who is the artist's name here? Green Tisa, I think is her name. She created some visuals of Pickme Penelopes, which are Becky's that are Pickmes, and then the Fix-It Felicias, which are the mammies and mules in Blackistan that fall in the Pickmeisha category. So go through profiles. So their lifespan typically is 65 to 70 years on average, but that's only if they don't allow themselves to become sacrificial lambs, caping for nakers in Blackistan who really don't give a fuck about them. So, for instance, oftentimes you'll see their lifespan shortened because they're risking their lives, standing on the front lines, fighting for BLM protests, fighting and risking their lives and their safety for men who won't do it themselves. They also shorten their lifespans by muling themselves to death. So they'll oftentimes have heart attacks or strokes and prematurely will experience lots of health issues because, they're working 2-3 jobs and doing multiple side hustles and other entrepreneurial efforts because their men can't provide and they have to fill in the gaps. So, appearance, they range and they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. This can be a Becky, or this can be a mammy or a mule. One identifiable trait is that they wear no makeup or extensions because men love women who are quote unquote naturally beautiful, even though these men can oftentimes be found thirsty and your IG models comments and they're in their DMs and they have a face full of makeup and plastic surgery galore. Also, their behavior. So let's refer to our image that we have here to facilitate this discussion, and I'll make it a little bit larger so you guys can see. So Fix It Felicia Pickme, she doesn't think she deserves better, so she has very, very low self-esteem. And she just accepts the basic and has very low standards. She lays out her BS clothes for him, so they'll brag about catering to their men and doing things that really mothers do for children. So coddling them, cleaning up after them like they're kids. She pays the bills, and she's the breadwinner of the household. That is typical for your Pickmeisha. She does everything. She accepts nothing and expects nothing, but does everything out of desperation just to please these men. She's called a gold digger if she dares to have standards and not self-sacrifice. Oftentimes she will denigrate other women for having standards, and God forbid you want a male who has resources or who can even bring the same thing that you bring to the table. If you're, for instance, if you are a successful business owner and you make 6 figures and you want someone who makes the same, you're a gold digger for expecting someone to bring the same things that you're able to bring to the table. She's strong all the time. She's a ride or die, but her man is a ride or walk. Her man ain't even a ride or walk. Her man is a ride or nothing. He's, she'll ride or die. She'll be loyal to him while he's in prison, while he's out making side babies. He'll bring her home STDs. He may even be unemployed. But she is loyal to a fault and will never leave this man because she is ride or die. Preyed on by homosexuals, for sure. Pickmeishas are a prime target for narcissistic men and homosexuals, so those who don't want to work and who do not like to take care of themselves, they will find themselves Pickmeisha, Fix It Felicia, so they can live off of her resources. Has been a girlfriend for 7 years, and despite practically being his wife and mom, he still hasn't married her, so she never gets rings. She never gets a ring because she doesn't establish any expectations. She'll take whatever the man gives to her, and the old saying goes, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? So Fix It Felicia is never a wife. She's always a live-in girlfriend. She wants to build a life and have a family. Supported her BF while he was getting his degree, climbing the corporate ladder, but when he finally made it, suddenly he thought they were just not right for each other. So, of course, they will hold them down during the struggle phase, and then all of a sudden when, the male graduates from college, or let's say he gets a record deal or signs an NBA contract, he is moving on with Becky. Sacrifices her time, dreams, and love to help her man succeed. bought the struggle love meme. Yeah, believes that love is difficult, love is painful, love comes with strife. If it's something that feels easy and it's something that is emotionally healthy, the Pickmeisha does not like that. There's also another piece of imagery about the Pickme Penelope, which is the Becky Pygmiesha. Same thing. So she has the same thought process, but the difference between her is she'll denigrate Black women and other women because she's pedestalized and she thinks that she's better than them. So she'll oftentimes say, "Well, you're just not submissive enough. You're just too loud. You're just too abrasive." Although she is treated like a doormat and is cheated on and is treated very poorly by the men in her life. Oh, it even says right here, her spirit animal is a doormat. See, so yeah, she is a passive pushover, has very low standards, and has very minimal expectations when dating. So she is, a prime example of Pickmeisha. Let's see what else here. I actually think chubby men with recessed chins are hot. So yeah, even though these men will have extremely high standards, you better be 5'6", 130 pounds, with a fat ass and double D boobs and a white smile, and you better look like a supermodel. He will have a receding hairline. He'll have a beer belly. He'll be 350 pounds with a little 4-inch D and has no job and nothing to bring to the table. And she will be happy with that. So, again, so just in summation, your Pickmeisha, they're oftentimes mammies and mules. They can be Becky's. They're desperate women who seek Naker's approval, and they'll engage in all sorts of antics just to be validated. So that is your profile of the Pickmeisha. Now let's look at this animal in their natural habitat. So let's see. So we're done with this. Where do I want to go? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is one I wanted to go to review first, examine initially. So here this woman is holding a sign that says you don't need money to spoil a real woman, you need money to spoil a hoe. So this is the true epitome of a Pickmeisha. She is talking about you only need money to spoil a hoe because something like as basic as having standards, that is something only for low-level, low-brow women to her, because you can't, God forbid you expect a man to bring any type of resources or any type of contributions to the table. That's not needed. That's not needed for these dummies, these dumb pick-me's. You can bring crumbs to the table, and these women will treat these men like they're royalty because they're very desperate and have no standards. Here's another Pickmeisha in her natural habitat. So she says, I'll buy my nigga whatever the fuck as long as he act right. $500 game, $200 food, $300 boxers. All he gotta do is mention he want it and it's already ordered. So come on, y'all. So this is a true pick-me, really illustrating natural behavior that's typical for these types of creatures. And this is really sad, but they trick out money. They are the men in the relationship. They're oftentimes the business owners. They're oftentimes the folks with the education. They're the person in the relationship that's the alpha and that is the breadwinner. And it really is sad because essentially what's happening in these relationships is that they are being stand-in mothers for these niggers who don't want to grow up and who don't want to take care of themselves. And my thing is, it's one thing to, if you want to spend money on your husband, but I'll be damned if I spend an arm and a leg on these dumbass fuckers, these dick in the street ass niggas that I dated back in Blackistan. You know, but the Pickmeishas, they the niggas with the money, like the girl said at the beginning of the video. You know, men like to complain about how, you know, they don't trick off on women, how women are gold diggers. But the reality is, oftentimes in these scenarios, these men are dating Pickmeishas and they are the niggas with the money. Let's go to the next post. So this is an interesting post that I came across online, and it's about a woman celebrating her 30th birthday by spoiling a group of 5 grown-ass men. So she says, "I'm truly grateful and thankful. It's my big 30th. And I decided to take 5 handsome men out on a date with me to show them they are appreciated, thought about, and can still maintain their masculinity, getting pampered. It was my idea to buy all of them the same color suits to match my dress, so we can celebrate my big 30th. 6 finna sit down at an elegant restaurant. They can order whatever they like. Then the after party gonna be on a party bus with my female friends, and we're gonna enjoy the night grown and sexy style. I could have asked 5 black men out, but handsome hoes come in all shapes, sizes, and race. It's election day, right? Well, you 5 have been selected. I appreciate you grown men for enjoying your night with me." Oh, so where do I start, y'all? Where the fuck do I start with this hot ass mess? So this woman is boasting and really bragging about how instead of spending her time with men who want to show her a good time because she's turning 30 and men who want to treat her and wine and dine her, she actually celebrates her 30th birthday by tricking off hundreds, probably thousands of dollars on 5 grown-ass men for her birthday. So this is what I mean. Just this warped thought process of the Pickmeisha. They really do think that it's something to be celebrated to take care of grown men. Grown men in their world aren't protectors and providers. They are seen like children. They are helpless, unemployed, lack of resource having, need to be coddled, need to be raised as little boy ass men. And it, like she said, she's grateful to be able to take care of these men. And what pissed me off is, okay, you keep that shit in Blackistan, but she got Brad here too. And that's not cool. You're not gonna corrupt the Brads when we out here divesting. You ain't about to have them thinking it's normal for motherfuckers, for women to be men and to be muling and to be fucking taken care of and whining and dining, you know, them like little bitches. That's not cool. And I remember back in Blackistan dating a guy who, and I wanted to treat him for his birthday. And I remember him saying that, you know, that would make him feel feminine. And that's the thing, that, like, men that get pleasure out of being able to take care of women, those are real men. And one thing that I understood and that I realized and that I learned by hitting my head way back before divesting is that when you take on that role as alpha in a relationship, as a woman, when you do that and when you're the breadwinner and when you're the provider, it breeds resentment in men, and it breeds shame and bitterness. Because he understands innately that he is supposed to be the provider and he is supposed to be the breadwinner. Okay, so let's go to the next post. That's not it. We already went over that one. Let's see what else I got here. Okay, so here's another post that has gone viral, and I will maximize it so you can see. So this woman is pictured here with with a guy in front of a car. And the caption says, saw a black man almost lose his life, get his car completely totaled and racially profiled. So I decided to buy him a car. Love being blessed and able to give back. Truly believe that we are all aligned because now he got a more fire whip and we're both cancers. How cool. Oh, Jesus, 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 Jesus. Look at this big ass fucking grown ass goddamn man with a full fucking beard hugging this girl because she done tricked off and spent some money on him to get a car. I can't, y'all. These pick-me's be wildin', and it would be one thing, although it doesn't explain it and it doesn't legitimize it, but it'd be one thing if this was her man and she was dignitized. But she did all this for a random stranger. Are y'all crazy? Seriously, like, what are y'all thinking? The response below says the lengths black women go to for black males, and ain't that the truth? Like, you doing all this for a damn stranger? And these are the same motherfuckers that will turn around and ridicule you for being masculine, but will still, in the same breath, take handouts from you. They'll call you pit bulls. They'll tell you ugly, loud, and ghetto. These are the same fools who blamed Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland for their deaths and said that they needed to make better choices. I'll be damned. And my husband and I talk about how, like, when my son is a certain age, we're not going to financially be providing for him. There's not going to be any handouts over here. Once you out of the house and you old and grown and you in your 20s, sorry, buddy, you gonna have to figure it out. That's my own damn blood. I'll be damned if I buy a car for a fucking grown-ass man that's a stranger. Like, he look able-bodied. He look older than her. But she looks like a little kid. He look able-bodied, but he can work. He can get a job. Y'all got me messed up. Lord Jesus. All right, let's look at this next post. Oh, so here's another dusty one. I found this on the Neighborhood Talk, their Instagram. So this guy posted a screenshot of a Cash App confirmation from his ex saying, sent you $700 for being a great baby daddy father. And he says, my BM is the best, broke me off some of that stimmy. So y'all, this is silly at this point. And it's, I want to laugh at this, but this is so sad because it's like, why didn't he get his own stimulus? The guidelines said everybody with a damn job got it. So was he unemployed? Did he owe child support? What's going on? And, this is funny, though, because men will encourage this type of problematic behavior. But when you think about it, it makes sense. It's a win-win for them. This woman and women like this, pick-me's like this, are sending a strong statement that they can be broke. They can be uneducated, unemployed, have no resources, can be bums, but still be just fine because these women will give them free access to sex, will let them cheat in peace. Oftentimes they're even verbally and mentally and sometimes physically abusive. But then, you'll not only give them your undying loyalty, they'll give them their money too. So why would they criticize that behavior? They winning. They are winning. It's a win-win situation. Let's look at this next post. Over that. Here we go. So here's another problematic post encouraging this type of disgusting pick-me behavior. Let's see if I can make it larger. Here we go. Okay, so everyone you meet will come with baggage. Find someone who loves you enough to help you unpack. So again, this is normalizing and encouraging that problematic pick-me behavior. So here we see the girl is coming to the relationship with baggage. So her baggage is childhood trauma. So maybe she experienced her parents go through a divorce or something, a messy divorce. She has anxiety, so she gets stressed, and she wears her heart on her sleeve. So she is a very loving person. On the opposite end, you see this fool that she's entertaining. Oh, he comes with a motherfucking full arsenal of toxicity and detrimental issues. And that's what he's bringing to the relationship, and that she's expected to deal with. So he's mentally ill. So he has depression and mental trauma. He is insecure, it says, and he has trust issues. So he's gonna be accusing her of cheating all the fucking time, every second. Says that he has a crazy ex. So, okay, she can expect that, she'll leave her house and will have random flat tires and broken windows because of that. And he has secrets, so he likes to fuck niggas on the side too. It also says porn addiction, I think that says. And I didn't see that at first until I blew it up. So he also has an addictive personality. So, and I don't know if that says porn, I'm guessing, but that addictive personalities can transfer their addiction to substances, to gambling, to all sorts of problematic behaviors. So here she is, she has her little minimal issues, where this fool has a buttload of problems and trauma and toxicity that she's expected to deal with, and that's a fair trade here. That's what's expected. This is really, really sad. So, it is unfortunate because as Black women, we are expected to be everything and everyone to everybody. So not only are you expected to carry, these men's kids for 9 months, you're expected to birth and rear and raise these men's children. You're expected to mule and sometimes even work multiple jobs to fill in the gaps because he doesn't have any resources and doesn't bring anything to the table. You also supposed to be a chef. You're supposed to be a maid. You're supposed to be this fool's therapist and deal with all sorts of trauma and toxicity. And on top of that, still fuck him on demand whenever he wants to. And you're supposed to be happy with that. This is why I can't, y'all. Like, man, in 2021, y'all, all relationships are supposed to be reciprocal. And I don't give a damn what that's with friendships, that's familial relationships. If you have family who just take and take and take but don't give anything back, you need to divest from that. Professionally, if you are in a dead-end job that expects for you to work long hours, that expects for you to prioritize them at every whim and work weekends, but you're not getting anything back and don't see any progression in your career path, you need to divest. You especially need to divest when it comes to personal relationships. That's friends. If you have friends where the relationship is lopsided and they take and you're giving more than you get, that's wrong. That's problematic. You need to divest from that. And in romantic relationships, you definitely need to divest from that. Never. It's silly and stupid to be in a situation this lopsided. I'll be damned. Like, y'all, this is crazy. And not only that, like, they forgot to depict the fact that she probably has multiple degrees. She probably has a promising career path where he probably has a GED and probably works at the local Piggly Wiggly. Okay, let's keep going. See, and y'all, these videos aren't usually typically this long, but I just found so much content about Pickmeisha. It was just like, damn, like everywhere I turned, because this is so normalized within the community for women to be slaves and for women to break they backs and to really like shoot, you expected to risk your lives to fight on the front line for these fools, to work and sometimes hold down multiple jobs to fill in the gaps for these fools. You would, like I said, be therapists. You supposed to be their psychiatrist, their psychologist, and talk them through whatever mental, emotional issues that they're going through. What, like I said, what did Pastor John Gray say? His wife birthed him again and raised him. And that's the norm, and that's what's expected. Okay. Let's see. And then there was another clip that I saw about a newscaster who was very critical on what she calls women who go out on dates with men just for free food. So I thought this was interesting. So let's listen. Come on, dude.
Somebody that I can't stand, don't just do it for the food. That's so, I mean, don't you know? So broke of you. You're so broke for that. Way too precious to sit with somebody that I can't stand, don't like, or don't really just for a meal. I went out on a friendly date. I say it's a date if it's a date. First of all, I said we're just friends. He thought it was more than that. He pissed me off during the dinner. I called the waiter. Every piece of food that I touched, I said, run it up on my tab, thank you. He thought I was crazy. First of all, I don't need your weak pockets for this meal. I got it on my own. Signed a check, 25% tip. Thank you so much. I'll be back next time. Some guys were like, well, I'm paying for the food, so now I need some of that, and you know, and the girls are like, well, I'm not giving that, and unless you put that filet mignon on the table with the twin lobster tails. So, but you don't need, you're trading the nana for the lobster tail? Right. Come on, man. Off men.
Oh, boy. So, that's a lot to unpack. So this newscaster talks about it's so broke of you to use men for food, to go out on dates, to use men for food. And I don't agree intentionally just going out on dates for a meal. But it was very interesting the way that she presented her argument and her viewpoints. It sounded like she was saying, you know, expecting a man to court you is broke. That's so broke of you to expect a male to court you and to take you out on dates. And she talks about how she got it. She'll take the tab. And let me tell y'all. So my bachelor's degree is in journalism. And I'm very vocal about how I am in a very lucrative career in the pharmaceutical industry. There is a reason why I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, but I'm not using that. That's because journalists don't make shit. They don't make shit. And so at best, this newscaster, I remember back when I graduated, they were saying news reporters start off making like $11 an hour. So let's just be generous and say, okay, well, she makes, I don't know, twice as much. That's still only about $40,000 a year, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. So she ain't making much money. So it's so interesting how she's just boasting and bragging about how she got it and she can rack up the bill and can pay for her own date. And it's like, come on, girl. Like, you got your legs all open and you're exuding masculinity, really. And I used to be that way. But when I realized, like, how like real dumb being a woman, flaunting my money and boasting about how independent I am like a dude. That is not a trait associated with women. That is not a feminine trait. That is a very masculine trait. Men inherently and innately are supposed to provide and are supposed to provide resources. So I had to check myself, like, you look real crazy. You look real crazy bragging about. So because the men that you want aren't going to care about that. Oh, boy. Let's see. What else before we keep going? Let's go. Did we talk about the stimulus? I think we did. We already talked about the stimulus, about this guy saying that his baby mama was so dope. Yeah, we talked about that. What else did I have to talk through? Oh, this last story. So let's talk about Maya Moore, who is the WNBA activist who left her lucrative career at the height of her career to help get this male out of prison, and ended up marrying this ex-felon. This one is a doozy. I always save the best for last. I don't know why my computer is moving so slow today. It's like really glitchy. I think it might be time to get me a damn new computer. Okay, here we go.
Remember this powerful moment, Jonathan Irons walking out of prison as a free man 23 years after a wrongful conviction, greeted by his family and his advocates that included WNBA star Maya Moore. 2 months later, they are paying it forward in a big way. We're going to talk to them both live in just a moment, but first, here is more of their story. It has been 2 months since Jonathan Irons was released from prison after serving 23 years of a wrongful conviction. A victory won with the help of WNBA superstar Maya Moore, who stepped away from the game at the height of her career to fight for Jonathan's freedom.
I feel like I can live life now, man. I'm free, I'm blessed.
And their journey for justice continues.
Today, I ask you again to stand with me and do everything that you can to make your voice heard.
The duo are teaming up to inspire others to fight for what's right, beginning with a Get Out the Vote campaign, reminding us all that change starts in our own backyard.
Your vote is your power.
Vote for your family.
Vote for your community. Vote for justice.
And joining us live now, Maya Moore and Jonathan Irons. It is good to have you back with us here on Good Morning America with those big smiles. Hey there, Jonathan, Maya. Okay, all right. This is very important that we're talking about the Get Out the Vote campaign. Yes, indeedy. There is something else, though, another collaboration, if you will, that you two are engaged in. So you want to share any announcement or anything with us, Maya, Jonathan?
Absolutely. So we wanted to announce today that we are super excited to continue the work that we've been doing together, but doing it as a married couple. So we got married a couple months ago, and we're excited to just continue this new chapter of life together.
Yeah, Jonathan put a ring on it. He put a ring on it. He's got a ring himself. You know, Jonathan and Maya, there are people that are jumping up and down right now. Because when they saw you on our air, they were like, is there something going on between these two? But remind people that you had no idea who he was, that you had family and friends who introduced you to him, and how this all evolved. Can you just tell us about this love story, how it began?
Yeah, so I met Jonathan when I was 18. I was about to be a freshman at UConn, and my godparents and my great uncle introduced me to him and his story and his case being wrongfully convicted. He had been in prison over a decade at that point, and so I was just interested in learning, got to know him, and over the last 13 years, we have just developed a friendship and just entered into this huge battle to get him home. And just over time, it was pretty clear what the Lord was doing in our hearts. And now we're sitting here today, starting a whole new chapter together.
Yes, you are. And Jonathan, so how'd you pop the question?
Well, a few years ago, while we were on a visit in prison, and at that point, you know, we both acknowledged that we had really strong feelings for each other. So much so that, you know, I wanted to marry her, but at the same time protect her, because being in a relationship with a man in prison is extremely difficult and painful. And I didn't want her to feel trapped. And I wanted her to feel open and have the ability to, anytime if this is too much for you, go and find somebody, live your life, because this is hard. But at the same time, she was like, well, I'm here now. Selfish. I said, well, I want to ask you something. She says, what? I said, will you marry me? I said, but don't answer that question yet. She's like, ah. I said, I just want you to wait until I'm home, because in my mind, I didn't know if I'd be home. And she's such an amazing, beautiful person. I could never trap her and, not let her fulfill her dreams of, being a wife and being a mother one day. But then when I got out, we were in the hotel room. We had some friends in the other room. It was winding down, and we were extremely tired, but we were still gassed up on excitement. And it was just me and her in the room, and I got down on my knees, and I looked up at her, and she kind of knew what was going on. I said, will you marry me? She said, yes. Here we are today. Yeah.
I know. Here you are today, and we've been seeing the beautiful pictures from the wedding. And I also remember, and first of all, congratulations to you both. I've known the news for a little bit, and I've had to button up. It's been very hard, so I'm glad that you're sharing with everybody right now. But I know that you didn't want it to distract from your mission, and I know that, and I respected that very much. And Jonathan, the last time that you were here, you said you were so blessed and so grateful that you wanted to make sure that you could go about change. And teaming up with Maya and her group, this is so important to you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the work that you all will be doing?
Well, right now we're basically trying to just educate the public and and get them engaged in the voting process, and just being more involved in what's going on with our country and our government and local jurisdictions, prosecuting offices. Just around the country, just to have people just to be aware and pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, things can get out of hand and become harmful to our country. Another thing that we're thinking
All
about.
right, enough of that. So this is really sickening. This poor woman. This is the epitome of problematic Pickmeisha culture and problematic pick-me behavior. So here she is young, bright and bushy-tailed, had a very, very lucrative career. So I just Googled that the average WNBA salary is $100,000, so 6 figures. And she left that for this fool that she built from the ground up. She built her NBA career on her own at 18. And she met this fool at 18 while he had already been in prison for a decade. So I'm sure he's quite a bit older. I didn't Google their ages, but if you've been in prison for 10 years, he has to be probably about 10 years older than her. And she met him when she had this promising, blossoming career at the prime of her. 18 is young. She met him, and this fool, he talked about how he didn't want to trap her, but no, you did. Because any man that genuinely loves a woman is going to tell her, this is not what's best for you. But this is what expected. So as Black women, we're supposed to sacrifice our lives, also sacrifice our careers, our finances, and walk away from everything to a penniless fool. He's a jailbird who didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. He's talking about he proposed to her with foot ring. After spending a decade in prison, there's no way you had any type of financial resources to be able to legitimately propose to her like she deserved. And she talks about how her grandparents, I think she said, introduced her to this man. And it's like, where were the elders in your life? Where is this lady's parents? And I don't give a fuck if the man was wrongfully convicted and it was something that, a decision that was made in error. I'm not going to let you, as my baby girl, with all the things that you have going for yourself, I'm not going to let you ruin your life by marrying a damn prisoner. This doesn't make any sense. But this is what's expected. This is what's normalized. That classic case of the pick-me giving everything aside from her firstborn son, and getting nothing in return. Okay, so a few more things, a few more instances of these women and their problematic behavior. Let's look at this person. Oh, okay, here we go. I forgot a letter. So this woman, and a slew of women, we've seen an influx of posts that have gone viral of women surprising their men and proposing to them. So let's watch this. This is a quick one.
Tyler!
I'm sorry, that
Check to see if values are dangerous.
It says you're fine. Wait, I accidentally typed bagels.
Built-in Wi-Fi and the most tech-savvy Subaru Forester ever.
One down. Beautiful. Right, smiling, beautiful. All right. So now turn, look at her right here.
So I'll be damned if I'm going to get all glammed up and I'm going to have on my glamorous ball gown, face full of makeup, fresh from the salon, just to get my ass on one knee to propose to a grown-ass man. That's a mess. That's not it. That's not the only one, because there's been an influx of these pick-me's getting down on one knee and proposing to men who should be men and should be proposing to them. But this just illustrates the desperation and the type of really abysmal mentality that we see illustrated by these women. Here's another one where the man says no. After dating for 6 years, this woman proposes to this man.
Please come back.
Yes.
Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes. That's nice. Oh yeah. For you? Please say yes. Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to say for the man.
Please say yes. Yes.
Okay, so she slaps him because she's humiliated. But here's my thing. How do you date someone for 6 years? They're quickly approaching a decade and still haven't gotten a ring, so you decide to propose to a grown man. Like, since when did chivalry and when did basic courting, men wanting to court women, when did the tides change where that is no longer the norm? These men, both of these men probably felt so emasculated, holding their ring finger out with limp wrists, waiting while their girl is on one knee waiting for her to put a ring on their finger. Child, I can't. Men are natural hunters. They are natural pursuers. So it is very, very problematic and very disturbing to see them get proposed to by the women in their lives. If he wanted you, if he really did want to marry you and spend the rest of his life with you, he will propose to you. Ask me how I know. Because it only took me 12 months to get my ring. Y'all. Okay. So here is another illustration of pick-me's who, for whatever reason, like to call in the Kevin Samuels. I don't know if they're gluttons for punishment. I don't know if they're sadists, but call into this fool who is clearly a misogynist, who is clearly has has some disturbing mental issues. Women every day continue to call in to him for advice. So let's watch this.
Here's your options. Buy a dog, die alone, or get a girl.
No.
Okay, then you must deal with us as our nature. Men are not going to keep switching to become more like women to please women who aren't going to accept us like women.
Okay. All right. And with that being said, there should be rules and regulations when you.
Well, let's start out with the first rule. Let's start with the first rules. How tall are you?
How tall am I? I am 5'8".
Dress size?
16.
All right, you broke the first rule right there. I don't know what you think.
So we done seen this man really be raped and really ridicule women previously. Why is there 4 black women still interested in listening to him for advice? You know why? Telltale signs they're pickmes. This is a classic case of women who don't feel good about themselves, who have low self-esteem, who just something's going on mentally. Something. You have to feel very, very shitty about yourself and really have to feel like you don't have much value or much self-worth to continue to call into this fool show. So he's talking about how she's big.
You think you're talking about that a man shouldn't cheat or whatever when you broke the first rule that men want women who are fit. You weighed more than a man at your height. True or false?
I'm around a lot of chubby dudes, so.
No, but okay. How much do you weigh?
220.
I weigh 210 and I'm 6'4". You broke the first rule. See, you ladies don't mind breaking the rules. The men are visual. The men want women who are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. And I don't mind being the size of, I'm sorry, you're 5'8"?
I'm 5'8".
You about the size of Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders was. You're running back size.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit the A gap like a motherfucker.
Yeah, all right.
So don't come in here talking about what men should not be able to do when they got to accept somebody who can run out the power I.
Okay.
See, I can't. This just pisses me off. I can't. Girl, and here's my thing. If you have low self-esteem, if you want to be denigrated, if you want to be degraded, if you want to be berated, if you want to be disrespected and ridiculed, just say that. Just say that. But let's not fool and let's not perpetuate this problematic idea and thought process that this type of behavior and this type of dialogue, it should be normalized and it's something that is expected to be endured by women. Y'all just a bunch of pickmes. That's it. That's it. This is really draining because it's so sad because it's like, you know, I can only do so much from behind my computer screen. You know, like clearly these women need therapy. Clearly these women need to take a harsh look in the mirror and experience a self-assessment about where they're at in life, and they really need to examine how they feel about themselves that they're willing to sign up for this type of mistreatment. But that's what your typical pick me is. Oh, you should be fit. Oh, you know, I do need to work out 6 days out of the week. I do need to be natural and not wear makeup and have a 26-inch waist and a 34 double D bra size and 38-inch hips and be like an IG thought and be a superhero fitness model Miss USA while you just sit there and are balding and have a protruding beer belly and while you have dick dew and your belly sticks out further than your dick does and you are making minimum wage at McDonald's down the street. I just can't with this, y'all. Do better, ladies. Do better. And that's all I got. I'm tired, y'all. I'm about to go out on a date with my handsome husband, who is amazing and who is high value and who is wonderful and who treats me very well. This is too much. All right. Until next time, ladies. See you guys. Bye.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.